Hey everyone, so excited. I am here today with one of our graduates from the 3-year family-based program, and we are going to be celebrating Grace. So I have the trainer, supervisor, and program director and Grace with us. So some of you may have seen on the socials Grace's picture, and she was very graceful with her commentary. And I thought we had to get some special time with Grace so everybody could hear about her hard work and how she is changing lives one family at a time. So I'm going to turn to the trainer, Dr. Byers. So Tara, I was wondering if you could share a little bit about just what stands out to you about Grace and, what you find remarkable about what she does in her work.
So excited to be here with Grace and to celebrate this milestone in your professional development. And I think what I really appreciated most as I was working with Grace directly and with her supervisor on behalf of Grace, looking at her work, I think two things that really stand out. One is she's so intentional. Like there's no wasted moments. I have a sense there's no wasted sessions. She just has an intentionality to her that I think is really beneficial to the families that she works with. And then the second part is like the quality of Grace's presence is so soothing. Her pace with the families just, I think, really engenders like this attitude of it's okay because together we are going to figure out whatever it is we need to figure out. And I
Wow.
think, in my estimation, those are maybe skills you hone, but I also think that those are just parts of who Grace is showing up. And I
Mm.
think that allowed her to really lean into the learning process because she was very intentional in her learning also. And maybe, I don't know how patient she was internally on herself, but she appeared as if she was being very patient and paced with herself as well. And so those are the two things that really stand out to me when I think about Grace as a clinician, as a person, and in this process of graduation.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, everything you're speaking to, when somebody really engages in this learning process and just, works in that 3-year training curriculum, I'm not surprised that Grace is able to help people find their strengths and help these caregivers lead their children to a place of healing. So that is beautiful. Grace, you're so amazing.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, we only say the things that are true around here. So I want to switch over to the program director at Child Guidance Resource Center, Elena. So Elena, if you as well could share your thoughts about Grace, like what her strengths are, what you appreciate about her, we'd
Sure.
love to hear from you.
Yeah. So I've had the honor of working with Grace now for a little over 3 years because I started in the Philly office as a supervisor prior to becoming the program director. So I was in group with Grace all the time, even though I wasn't her direct supervisor, was always there with her and the rest of the team. And so I've just, had the privilege of just seeing her growth over the 3 years and all the knowledge that she has gained from the training center and her, attending all the trainings. You could tell that she really just soaked it up like a sponge and has been able to, bring that to our groups to, from what I hear from her supervisions with her supervisor and her team partner, it's just always obvious how much she's really taken from that and has grown from it. And it has elevated her skills, not only with just, families, but just being able to provide feedback and really insightful, feedback to her peers. So it's really been a
Mm-hmm.
positive impact to our entire team, not only in Philly,
Yeah.
but in the entire department. And that
That's
just,
what I
yeah,
was thinking about, right?
yeah,
Like listening to you and Dr. Byers describing Grace, who you are as a professional, and how you have just this natural collaborative approach. Elena, I can see her just uplifting people around her, including her peers.
yes, definitely.
So, Tracy, I know that you are Grace's supervisor and wanted to find out from you, what do you want to talk about in terms of us celebrating Grace and her growth? And also, like, what do you appreciate about Grace, the systemic family therapist?
Sure. Thanks, Jen. Yeah. I've been supervising Grace for the past 3.5 years. So she's been in this since COVID. I actually hired her during COVID. So to talk about her growth and development as a clinician and just, her coming full bloom into this model has been such a pleasure to watch and supervise. So Grace really started with, she was pretty green and new to this model, and she had a lot of, tools in her toolbox. But I think with the model and the training that we've done with Tara over the years and things like that, she's really solidified what she likes to do with clients and families. And she really has, like I said, blossomed. Her confidence has grown. The language around the model, her reframing, her conceptualization has been really just tightened up. And
Wow.
she's just a wonderful, well-rounded clinician who's caring, strength-based, brings that joining capacity right from the get-go. I mean, she's just terrific. So she was really, nervous in the beginning of all this, going into people's homes, conflict resolution. She always wanted to be the good cop, and so she did have a very good partner that allowed for some of that, but also pushed her. So I also have to give props to her team partner and the partnership. And that's why I think team delivered service can really be beneficial as a clinician, even though it can be a little bit intimidating at times when you have a clinician viewing your work firsthand, so her partner, she would probably say the same thing. Her partner also helped, during supervisions and gave her really good feedback and in vivo training, if you will. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
she really got comfortable with parents and, she gravitated towards the kids, and I would always push her. I'm like, listen, you know what the real work is here. And she would, just push herself and bring it to supervision, bring video. And I'm just so proud and I just feel blessed to have her in this work. And I congratulate her for graduating.
So, Grace, now that we have fussed about where you're at as a professional and honored your humble commitment to the center's mission to prevent out of home placement of children and to keep them in the homes with their caregivers, because nobody's more important than these caregivers for these children. Can you just share a little bit about, you know, what is it? One, like, what have you gotten out of this program? And if you had to turn to somebody who's in their first week, what would you want them to know? Give them that insider trading information. What do you think they need to know?
When thinking about when I started ESFT, especially new to family based, it can feel very overwhelming because of the different aspects of the pillars and the phases, stages, and you feel like you have this like guideline to follow, and it's like very black and white, but it's not. I think one of the most important things to remember is that like it's a very fluid and collaborative approach, and it's like family based is holistic, so is this model, and that's what really was really important to me, because I feel like I've always had a collaborative approach, especially with caregivers, even
Mhm.
before I worked in family based. And I feel like ESFT really like helped me hone in on that, and just gave me this, it's going to give you the skills is what I would say. It's really going to give you, the structure to give you the skills to help you understand it better and to help the clients understand it better in a way that makes sense, and in the most important way that feels doable. Because a lot of like, we're used to these, meeting new clients that they've been in the system for a while and they've had clinicians and all these people, and it feels overwhelming, and here's another person, but then we get to come in and really collaborate in a different way with a different perspective and a different understanding, and to really build a better foundation with them. So I think that's really important to know going into it. And from being a graduate, also knowing that, like, as clinicians, we all suffer with like imposter syndrome. And
Oh,
this has
yeah.
helped me with
Yep.
that so much, because I'm already passionate about collaborating with caregivers and kids and really becoming a team, and, using their strengths and building new strengths. And like, it makes me feel more confident, and that like imposter syndrome has really like not been nearly as frequent, which is shocking. I never thought I would say that.
Well, Grace, you're bringing up such an important part of the model, is when you really understand what the model is trying to accomplish. Being a professional who uses ESFT means that you are also committed to your own growth and development. And
Mhm.
how can you be an imposter if you're always supposed to be growing and developing?
Mhm.
You really, by definition, you can't.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And I think that is also something that is great to align with our clients with. It's like, um we're learning together. We're learning together to learn like how the model can help you the best. As I'm teaching these families, the model, like, we give them the introduction to intake, but then as we go through our at least 8 months together, it's like, we have to tailor it for each family differently. And it's like, I'm learning you just like you're learning what the services are and what your family are. And, so it's like this parallel that we have.
Wow. Grace, I am so grateful for the work that you do. I know that families that have engaged with you have just been very fortunate, because you're probably, sometimes the first person who has said, I know that you are enough and I know that you can help your child. And so um, I'm just so glad that we got to have this time together with you and your director and your trainer, because I want to be able to share the good work you've done with your community. I want people to know what you're doing. And also, I want to be able to make you a part of our legacy permanently, and have your story also be inspiring and promoting for other professionals. And we look forward to seeing everybody on the socials. Bye, everyone.